Hey gamers, if you like hidden identity games and you love The Office, then you want to check out The Office Paper Paranoia. Let's take a look at how this game plays. In this game, the players who are on the Dunder Mifflin team will be trying to figure out who among them is on the Osprey Paper team so that they do not get hired to the Scranton branch and they do not force the Scranton branch to close. Each player will have one of these loyalty cards which will be kept hidden throughout the game unless somebody is able to peek with certain reward cards, and they will just have to know which team they're on so that they know whether or not they're trying to sabotage the different tasks throughout the weeks. Each player will also have a roll card here for which department they're on, and one of these little tokens which they can use to kind of signify if they're going on the task. They will also have a hand of office supply cards, which they will have depending on how many players there are. And they will have different kinds of things that they'll have to contribute to tasks, as well as potentially sabotage cards, which will be good for the Osprey team. But if the Dunder Mifflin team has them, they want to try and get rid of them as best they can so that they're not sabotaging missions. Each turn, the head intern will pick up one of these task cards from the deck, read it out loud to everybody, and then they'll select the team that's going to contribute cards to that task. Each card will tell them how many interns need to be part of that task and if any specific departments need to be a part of it. So if I was the head intern, I'd have to pick a total of 3 interns, and at least one of them has to be from the accounting department. Once selected, everybody would contribute one of these cards depending on what the mission is. So this one needs snacks, and only 2 cards of the cards that are contributed will be revealed. So I might want to go on this mission because I do have snacks to contribute if I am Dunder Mifflin. But again, if I was Osprey, I would maybe say I have snacks, but then maybe contribute my sabotage card. Everybody would put their cards in the center, and then you would add one more off the top of the deck as the Ryan factor. Then the head intern would shuffle and reveal however many the card says and see if they succeed. If they succeed, they can spin the chore wheel to get certain reward cards from here, which will give players various abilities. So this one would let you respin the chore wheel in the future to get a different reward, potentially if you get no reward or just don't like what the reward is. And there's other things in here as well that will help players throughout the game. And then players would just continue to slide this up after each week until they get to the end. If they fail the task, they will move up this little strike marker, and that can also end the game if they get too many strikes. At the end of the game, whoever the head intern is going to select a certain number of players based on player count to be hired to the Dunder Mifflin branch, and as long as there are no Osprey members selected, then the Dunder Mifflin team will win. If even one Osprey member is selected to be hired, then the Osprey team will win. The Office is definitely my go-to rewatch show. It's my comfort show. I love The Office, and I think this game does a really good job at representing the characters and just kind of the vibe of The Office overall. I think it's really funny because it honestly seems like something that Michael would do is hire a bunch of interns and try and get them to figure out who is infiltrating from Osprey. So I think that that's just really fun. I think it works really well with the theme and everything. The gameplay is very similar to, I've never played The Thing, but I know that it's a reimplementation of that, but it still felt similar to other social deduction games, kind of like Avalon or The Resistance, things like that, where you're picking people to go on a mission and you're just trying to suss out based on what happens in that mission, success or failure. You're just trying to figure out who among you is the traitor. For this game, it'll be 1 or 2 players, depending on player count. I did think that the 4-player game was a little bit too close or tight-knit. A lot of the missions are 4 players minimum, so it meant that everybody was going on the missions all the time. So it was hard to figure out who Osprey was until kind of you got those Shroot Bucks and could use them as the reward to peek at players' loyalty cards. I thought the 4-player game was just a little bit too finicky for that, but the higher player count games I thought was a lot more fun, and it was a lot more fun to try and figure out who among us are the traitors. So I definitely recommend it with 6 to 8 personally. But if you like The Office, if you like hidden identity games, this is definitely worth checking out. But you can see my full thoughts on the blog today to decide if this one's for you.